Sigma males are viewed by a lot of people as non-traditionalist to mature long customs and folklore. Anyway, there are sure misconceptions about success that unknowingly drive individuals to believe that without tolerating and staying aware of them, that success in anything they do or seek after turns into a delusion. Is that valid in a genuine sense? Consider the possibility that the main thing keeping you down is a couple of restricting myths. We hold various myths about what works, the right method for getting things done, and how we should find success. Furthermore, by all accounts, a significant number of these myths sound very sure and inspirational, and they are in certain circumstances. Nonetheless, in numerous different circumstances, they transform into persuasive myths that totally cripple our success and keep us from building positive propensities. Sigma males deliberately split away from the acknowledgement of such myths about success and put forth practical goals for themselves that are attainable. Hey guys, welcome to Inspiration Plug. In this video, I will show you 5 popular myths about success that are ignored by Sigma males. Myth 1, all you need to do is work really, really hard to be successful. A big part of all private disappointments might be followed back to this idea. This might seem silly, yet it is precise. Whether or not you need to run a long-distance race or foster a successful business, everybody accepts that achievement includes hard work. Basically, regardless of whether you work astutely, hard work is unavoidable. But you are likely to have extra business responsibilities, homegrown tasks, and family obligations also. Where do you get the significant investment to really buckle down consistently on growing new sure habits? You may be endeavoring to lay out a habit of practicing for 40 minutes consistently, for instance. Imagine a scenario where you don't have 40 minutes on a given day. You make a stride back, then continue to skip. Fortunately, essentially from the beginning, when you're simply beginning to frame a habit, hard work isn't the most vital element in success. The main thing that is important at first for a Sigma male is to pursue the routine consistently for a brief time frame. Rather than endeavoring to practice for 40 minutes of the day, begin with 2 minutes consistently. You may be thinking, what is the goal of going through 2 minutes every day on something that won't assist me with achieving any outcomes? Simply said, the goal is to become accustomed to a day-to-day design. A habit is something you manage without a second thought, something that works out easily for you. Doing it consistently prepares a piece of your brain, the cingulate gyrus, to instill this action and make it as regular as cleaning your teeth each day. Within half a month, your cerebrum will become acquainted with playing out the activity consistently at a set overall setting. That is the point at which you can add 2 to 5 minutes to the time every week. You'll meet your 40-minute goal in half a month, and it'll have turned into a deep-rooted habit that doesn't feel like an errand. Sigma males are aware that while hard work is indispensable, it is just the initial move toward change. Consistency is the initial step. Just whenever you've laid out a humble habit, would it be a good idea for you to start to work harder at it? Myth 2, you must have a hard deadline, and if you don't hit it you will fail. Are you trying to build new habits to reach certain goals by a set deadline? Something like, I have to lose 15 pounds in 1 month. You might believe that you can't get anything done without setting deadlines. Sigma males make use of flexible deadlines. What if I told you that deadlines are actually holding you back in many cases? This happens in 2 ways. First, a deadline will draw your attention toward your goal, the result that you seek. You will constantly evaluate how well you did every day by checking your weight. What you haven't taken into account is that during the first few weeks, you might not gain any visible results at all. You might struggle to run even for half a mile. That's all part of the natural skill development process that everyone goes through. This lack of visible progress can really discourage you. You might feel that you just don't have what it takes, and you may be motivated to abandon your goal altogether. Deadlines likewise make individuals underrate how much time is expected to finish a task. Glance around and you will see this event in varying backgrounds. Individuals frequently miss deadlines at work or wind up placing in additional hours without a second to spare. It's critical to comprehend that deadlines have a period and a spot, however, they aren't generally helpful. For example, do hard deadlines genuinely matter for building long-haul, extraordinary habits? No, they don't. Regardless of whether you require 4 months to shed 15 pounds, envision the effect that will have on the remainder of your life. What's the enormous rush? Move slowly and consistently. Little, steady strides forward consistently. Sigma males disregard setting hard deadlines for themselves and simply center on what's significant, building the establishment of your positive habit or schedule. Assuming that you really want a superior way to deal with remaining persuaded, center around your huge why. Why would you like to construct this habit or venture? What prizes will you gain? How might it make you more joyful and more satisfied? Get this on paper, recall it, and allow it to be your motivation. Myth 3: you have to be bigger and better than you are right now. Goals are important. All journeys of change must begin with a goal. You also must have determination in order to achieve those goals. However, what do you think happens when you are too determined? You begin to nurture another belief: who you are right now is not good enough. So the bottom line is this: you have to accept yourself as you are, and then commit to personal growth. If you think you are absolutely perfect already, you will not make any positive efforts to grow. But constantly criticizing yourself is just as counterproductive as doing nothing, because you will never be able to build new positive habits when you're obsessively focused on your flaws. It is a known fact that Sigma males follow the middle way. Change your mantra from, "I must be better," to, "I will do my very best today." The subsequent mantra is undeniably more viable on the grounds that it really prompts you to make a positive move consistently while at the same time acknowledging the situation that each work may not be awesome. Keep in mind, you are already good enough, you simply need more practice. Myth 4: you must be willing to sacrifice everything to be successful. You've heard this story a million times. Successful people work for hours without taking breaks, eating, or sleeping. You might have heard how Eric Clapton used to practice the guitar for 18 hours a day, or how Edison worked for days without a break while inventing the light bulb. The underlying message: you need to sacrifice even your basic physiological needs if you wish to succeed. These stories motivate appreciation in the present corporate-impacted culture. Be that as it may, they make you ignore a basic inquiry: did these individuals work at superhuman levels consistently? No. Many individuals attempt to set aside greater opportunities for their positive habits and tasks by skipping breakfast, sleeping less than 6 hours, or barely enjoying any break at work. Such uncommon measures are experimentally known to be certain fire approaches to lessening your efficiency. They reduce your energy, IQ, dynamic capacity, and self-discipline, and that's just the beginning. Sooner or later, sacrificing adequate food or sleep will become too troublesome to sustain, and you will end up quitting too soon. Sigma males understand that rather than try to gain time through over-the-top sacrifices, they spend less of their time on things that matter less, such as time on social media, less time watching TV, or fewer evenings at the pub. Myth 5: you can, and should, completely transform yourself all at once. Do you have a future image of yourself as a transformed person? Someone who is healthier, happier, more confident, incredibly productive, always able to balance work and life, and so on. Most of us do to a certain extent. Every now and then, we become motivated to do something to become that person. The most common example of this is during New Year celebrations, when we make resolutions with a remarkable amount of optimism. Anything seems possible in the new year. You kick off with tremendous motivation. Yes, this time, it's going to be different. But you know how it usually goes. Resolutions just remain. Well, resolutions and wishes for some other time. Your overenthusiasm is actually the cause of your failure. When you try to build 6 new habits at a time, or even 2, you will become overwhelmed and most likely fail at every habit. Trying to build 2 new habits at the same time divides your available willpower between those 2 pursuits, making it more difficult for you to do either of them. Sigma males know that the key to successful transformation begins with building a single habit, preferably the simplest one first. Don't begin the second habit until you have been consistently doing the first one for at least a month. Let your first victory pave the way for your second. You may have failed at building positive habits and changes in your life multiple times in the past. That doesn't mean you are too busy, undisciplined, or lazy. You were only harboring some beliefs that were holding you back. Once you free yourself from the deceptive grip of these beliefs, you'll see the difference. For the first few weeks, forget about how long or how well you are doing, and just do it. Forget about hard deadlines, sacrifices, self-transformation, or any other motivational myths. The only thing you need to do is work on your positive habit for 2 to 5 minutes every day. That's it. It's time to get back into the game. Which point above resonated the most with you? Have any of these myths held you back in the past? I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share your thoughts and insights with the community.